crypto winter hasn't scared everyone away just yet. Financial companies, Charles Schwab, Citadel Securities, and Fidelity are joining forces and launching a new crypto exchange, EDX Markets. The new venture also backed by Sequoia Capital and Paradigm, one of the largest crypto VC firms. Joining us now, the CEO of that new exchange, Jamel Nazarlari, who was formerly an executive at Citadel. Thanks for being with us today. Now, EDX bills itself as a safer, faster, more efficient way of trading digital currencies. Explain to our audience how you are different than a crypto native exchange.
Well, I think one of the key differences is we're not going to have direct retail accounts. We're going to be the venue for investors who want to trade through their trusted intermediaries, like Fidelity, Schwab, or any other retail broker-dealer.
Well, and you also have an impressive bench of executives that come from the traditional finance world. Do you need more crypto leadership? Do you have anyone who has been operating in the crypto space exclusively for years?
We do. We have a mix of people from traditional finance as well as those that are crypto native and have a ton of digital experience.
Any names?
So we announced yesterday that our general counsel is David Foreman, who is formerly head of legal for Fidelity Digital Assets. We've got Tony Roeder, who was at ErisX, another digital exchange. And then we have a couple hires that are finishing off their current employment. Both of them have extensive digital experience, and we'll announce those names as soon as they finish their last days.
Okay, but that's real money that's going to go out of discretionary buying when you're talking about some of those stores.
It's rolling over, okay? The pace of rent increases, we're seeing it go down month to month, not year over year.
The pace of increase, but are you seeing it actually go down, or you're just seeing it plateau?
You're not. The rate of growth is slowing. That is actually the component of CPI that freaked people out last week.
Right.
But it's a meaningless number because I don't know what data they're looking at. They can call anyone in real estate, and the CPI number that's going to keep going up. By the way, you're going to see the rent component of the CPI continue to rise because it's such old data they have. But that they call us, or they call CoStar, or they call anyone in real estate, you can get the real-time data where it is rolling over. And look at the housing market. You've caused a crash of unprecedented proportions in the housing market. The economy is breaking hard.
But
500,000 single-family home sales, new sales, is the lowest since 1952. I mean, you're going to have a major crash in the housing market, and housing prices are going down. You are seeing housing prices correct. They've already took $7 trillion of wealth out of the stock market. I mean, the market is doing what it's supposed to do. We're actually breaking the market hard, and it's taking the excess out. Take the consumer that you just mentioned, okay? He's paying higher rent. He's actually paying more for food, and he's paying more for gas. So the savings he got and all the money he had in his bank account from the pandemic, I heard one banker tell me they had $2,200 in their average American savings account. That was up from $400. Pre all that money will be drained by the end of the year. So just from those three things, nothing the Fed is doing is going to change. They're attacking the economy with a sledgehammer, and they don't need to.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And we officially have all the big banks inside of crypto. And they're finally letting you know. We have Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Citadel, Paradigm, Sequoia, BlackRock, Vanguard. And when are they coming in? That's right, during the bear market. And while the Fed is shrinking liquidity and running off this balance sheet, they're going to buy up everything. Guys, we know the blueprint. And now we have the housing market is crashing. And we know that's a signal for the rest of the economy to crash. They kept rates at zero, allowing people to buy a home, but these people bought homes at top prices. And we know when we go through hyperdeflation, majority of them over the past 5 years are going to be upside down. During the last 2 years, there was a squeeze on property because no one could get evicted. Now we're going in the opposite direction because no one wants to move and pay high rates or refi. And then if you buy a home, you'll probably be paying anywhere from $600 to $1,000 extra before the actual interest rate hike. And then we have the Swan Man, calls Bitcoin a tumor. And remember, on these main media outlets, they give you half the truth. They don't talk about the fourth industrial revolution. And that's what Bitcoin and cryptos are all about. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Economy cannot roar with a housing market in a complete free fall. And the same will happen eventually when you go buy a new car and you have to finance it and they can't offer you 0% financing. You get 7%, and people aren't moving out of houses. So because you have a 3% mortgage and you're going to move to a new house with a 7% mortgage. So you're not moving. You're stuck. You're staying where you are. So, I think the data, the only one that's curious to me is the unemployment number or the unemployment claims, because what I hear, as you can see in tech world, I mean, with the stocks down, the average tech stock is, some of them are down 70%. They are, even Facebook is talking about, and Google's talking about layoffs. When was the first time, this could be the first time in history I've ever heard Google talk about layoffs and streamlining their cost structure. So I think, again, you have to look forward. The Fed has done enough. And if I gave you the prices, iron ore down 60%, copper down 35%, DRAM prices down 46%, oil down 35%, silver down 39%, Baltic freight rates down 80%. You already have deflation. It's already on our way. They've done a good job. They've signaled we're going to stop the music. And I'm just saying, be slow, because you're moving. The amount of money that comes that goes into T-bills when you can get 3.5% on T-bills. Where's the money coming from? It was in the equity market. It was somewhere, and they're going to pull it out. And let's see the implication of that.
So we've been having a big debate at this table, and Barry's been a huge part of it, about what the Fed should or should not be doing and where we really are in this economic cycle, whether we effectively are already in a recession or not, and whether the Fed is doing too much or too little. I'm very curious where you land on this.
I think that we've had 14 and a half years of Disneyland that basically has destroyed the economic structure. Think about it. No interest rates. So anyone who's today 40 years old, like 40 years old, with no experience in markets.
Right.
With zero, they don't know what time value of money is.
Okay.
So the Fed overshot by lowering interest rate too much. The first 100 basis points work, the second much less. At zero interest rate now, of course, for a long period of time, you are hurting the economy, you're creating bubbles, creating tumors like Bitcoin, creating
tumors like Bitcoin.
Yeah, or hedge fund that should not exist but have existed for 15 years.
Okay, we're going to dig into that in just a second, but keep going.
So now we need to go back to normal economic life. Here I see people are experienced, and people with experience remember that there was at some point such a thing as a discount rate. So we had interest rate, time value of money, that your investment had to earn cash flow. All these notions escape the new generation.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.